Everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David, and this is a deck review. And today we're going to look at the Independence from Jackson Robinson. Now, the Independence was a Kickstarter that Jackson Robinson did, and it was through his company, Kings Wild. And so it was successful, and it was absolutely massive. It was a massive campaign. If you don't know, these cards were inspired by the American Revolution. The American Revolution was it was a political upheaval, took place between 1765 and 1783, and it was during that time the 13 American colonies that broke free from the British Empire, and they formed an independent nation, the United States of America. So these cards are kind of like an homage to that. They kind of represent that in a lot of their pictorial and their imagery. And so, like I said before, this was just an absolutely massive campaign. And, you know, in seeing these cards, and let me just say, you can really see Jackson's attraction to United States history. I mean, we've already seen that through his Federal 52 releases. And it's just, you know, historical artwork and just some of the great events of the United States. You can really see Jackson's passion for that. And when you have a passion, I think, for something, especially how Jackson has this passion for currency and historical art, and then he also has this passion for cards, you see those two passions come together, and what you're left with is just a beautiful masterpiece. The Independence was two different decks of cards. Slightly different. It was the Continental here and the Crown, and they were released as standard and limited edition decks. So both editions had really elaborate tuck cases. The custom tuck case that came with the limited edition deck, I don't have those, but I can tell you, they had a custom fold-over flap, and then those tucks were also wrapped in vellum and wrapped in a belly band. And then those two decks also had different Ace of Spades. They also had different diptychs that came with them that set them apart from these. These are the standard decks. In addition to that, Jackson also made plain white display tuck boxes for his limited edition backers. And this went above and beyond for any card producer, and this is just another testimony to how closely Jackson listens to his fans and how much of a designer he is that would go above and beyond. Most people, when they get limited edition decks like that, they don't want to open them. And to have a deck that's wrapped in vellum and then a belly band, you're thinking, oh, I'm never going to open this, I'm going to put it aside. Jackson still wanted them to see the artwork that he made, so what he did was he made complimentary display decks that could be opened so that the art could be enjoyed. So again, massive, massive campaign. Jackson's done a lot of work on these, and it's just an incredible amount of work. Just with the two tuck cases, and we're going to do both decks in the same review, pretty much because the decks on the inside are virtually identical. There really isn't that much of a difference between one and the other. The Continental deck, the tuck case, says the Continental across the front and has the Liberty Eagle on the front there. It says, "Don't tread on me," and E pluribus unum, and it tells you that it is a Kings Wild playing card deck. The bottom has a Kings Wild ad copy, and the two sides just say Continental. The tuck case, inside and out, is covered in silver foil. It has a custom tuck seal and just embossing all throughout. And as you can see, the Continental is the blue deck. And that's what's kind of cool about this set, is you get a blue deck and a red deck, just like you would with many different standard bike decks. The Crown deck, which represents the British Empire, has the seal of Britain on the front, and it says Kings Wild playing cards. And again, just like its predecessor, there's ad copy on the bottom. It says the Crown on the sides, and has a custom tuck seal as well. Again, inside and out silver foil, custom tuck seal, like I said, embossing all throughout, just beautiful and very rich detail. You can see even the tuck flaps have artwork on them as well, and even more so on even the little tuck tinier flaps do too. And I'll show you the inside of these tuck cases right now.
Hey, I also wanted to show you the artwork on the inside of these tech cases. It's just, you just can't get the detail with the other camera, or even from that far away. So with the Continental, you'll see that map that's there, and then just the silver foil there on the inside that says Continental 2, and you see the map that goes all the way down. And then way down at the bottom there, you see it says, "In God We Trust." And then over on the inside flap, we have the Kingswilde seal there, which is just, my goodness, you know, the attention to detail is just astronomical. And then you have the crown deck here, okay? You have the same kind of map going on the inside. You have the cool little symbols on the tuck flaps. And then you see just the same silver foil. You got the map going all the way down to the bottom there. Again, it says "In God We Trust" way down at the bottom. And then the familiar Kingswilde seal there on the other side. These are just incredible decks. They're super gorgeous. I highly recommend you pick these up if you are a collector or an appreciator of history, especially American history.
So that's pretty much it for these tuck cases. Now let's take a look at these cards. The cards themselves are really strong. They do have a modern cut to them, and they are printed on a casino grade B quality, aristocrat quality stock. They have air cushion embossing, and they do have a magic finish. And if you'd like to learn more about cut or finish, you can click this link. The Continental deck, which represents the 13 American colonies, its back design has a beautiful ornate border. It has the American Eagle symbol with the breasted plated shield there in the center on the top and the bottom. It has a tiny star on the left and the right. It is simple, still has very familiar feel to perhaps his Federal 52 series, but it is original, and it's a beautiful back in and of itself. It's not really blue so much as it is kind of like a bluish gray, kind of like how the uniforms were in the American Revolution. The face of the cards also has kind of a aged parchment wash to it. So there isn't any really white parts to this deck. The border here is not white. The face is not white. It's that yellow aged look that I think really adds a lot to the look of this deck. You're going to get a couple of things with this deck, the first of which is you're going to get 2 ad cards. There's no gaff cards with this at all. You're going to get 2 ad cards. One ad card is just a little about Kingswilde Project and a thank you from Jackson himself. And then the other is just a copy of the back design. And then when you turn them both around, they reveal a diptych of Paul Revere's ride. You're also going to get a custom Continental Ace of Spades, which is the symbol from the back of the deck of cards. And it does say Kingswilde playing cards there at the bottom. And then you're also going to get 2 jokers. Now you're going to get 2 jokers, 1 joker for each deck. You're going to get the Lady Freedom, which is the Continental Joker in the blue, and then you're going to get the Lady Britannia in the red, which is the Crown Joker. Now, interestingly, you don't get 2 of these in the Continental deck and 2 of these in the Crown deck. You actually get 1 of each in each deck.
Here are a few of the special cards that came with the standard Continental deck. This is the Continental Standard Ace of Spades, and this is the diptych that the 2 ad cards make. This is Paul Revere's famous ride.
It's going to be very much the same as the predecessor deck in that it is the seal there on the top and the bottom with an ornate, flowery, this time border. And just a lot of scroll work, and it's going to have the royal crown at the top and the bottom. And just has a very regal, very elegant feel to it. And again, the face of the cards is going to have that same yellow parchment, no white on the front or the back, and it just has more of an addition to making it feel like this is something from history. Very similar to the Continental deck, you're going to get a original Crown Ace of Spades. Now again, these Aces of Spades that came with these cards, these are only the cards that came with the standard edition decks. If you were to get the limited edition decks, they do have different back designs, they do have slightly different faces, and they do have different diptychs, and so that is something to look forward to. The Crown Ace of Spades, again, is just the royal symbol and seal in there in the center. It says Kingswilde playing cards. Again, just like with the earlier deck, you're going to get the same 2 jokers. You're going to get Lady Freedom and Lady Britannia. And then you're going to get your 2 ad cards, but this time a different diptych.
So here's a closer look at a few of the special cards that come with the standard Crown deck. This is the standard Crown Ace of Spades, and this is the diptych that the two ad cards make. This is Lady Britannia sitting atop a lion.
Of course, no review for a King's Wild deck would be complete without looking at some of the original courts that Jackson has made. Very similar to the Federal 52 series and some of the earlier decks that he's done, including even the Sherlock Holmes decks. You're going to get characters from history, specifically from the American Revolution, both from the United States and from the British Empire, mixed together, that kind of pay tribute to some of these great men and women of our nation's history.
Real quick, I just wanted to take the camera and just give you an overview of what some of the court cards and spot cards look like in the Independence Standard deck. And at any time, you can use your own camera controls and pause and take a closer look.
You know, I do want to say one last thing, and I think it really deserves to be said, and that is, you know, when you get a deck of Jackson Robinson's cards, to me, it feels a lot like, I don't know, like it feels like Christmas. I don't know another way to say it. You know, like, you always remember that Christmas is coming, and you look forward to it. But I think every year you kind of forget just how great Christmas actually is until it gets there. You know, and then when it does come, it's filled with more than just presents. You know, there's excitement, there's family, there's memories that are made, and I think, and I know this is a weird analogy, but I think when you know that you're getting a Jackson Robinson deck, you kind of forget just how great these cards really are. And then when you get them in your hand, you, like I said earlier, you just see the appreciation that Jackson has both for cards and for American history, and you see the attention to detail that he's put in these cards, and it just blows you away that cards can be this good. You know, there should be such a thing as King's Wild Standard in my book, that this is the standard of excellence right here. I mean, I have rarely seen a deck of cards, or even more so, rarely seen a creator that always, and I mean this, always delivers, you know, both in product, in attention to detail, in just the things and the ideas that he comes up with his over communication with his customers and his fan base. I think that this is definitely a line and a product that will continue to challenge the industry and to push the edges of what we have seen in cards and card design. I mean, even just for example, this the limited edition tuck case boggles the mind, blows you away. I mean, constantly giving you as much as he possibly can through foil, through embossing, through limited edition sets, through diptychs, through just and the over amount of hours that he puts into finding and redefining and just detailing in all the cards. It always delivers. And so I know it sounded funny to say that his cards are like Christmas, but that's what it feels like when you get them. You know, any other deck of cards, you get it, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, I got the such and such deck. But when you get these, when you get King's Wild cards, you are just blown away. And I think it's just they're such a joy to unwrap. They're so much fun to look at. I mean, these are the cards that I show strangers. These are the cards that I show people when they come to my house. You know, the other cards, I mean, maybe, but these cards are the ones I always pull out and say, man, you got to check these cards out. These cards are, you know, amazing. These cards are excellent. And I always get the same reactions. People look at these cards and they're blown away too, and they want to know more about Jackson and his product. And so I would just say, if you haven't yet picked up a deck of King's Wild cards, if you've been on the edge, or if you just think they're overhyped or overpriced, get yourself a deck for yourself and take that test. And I assure you, you will be blown away. So that is it for this deck review. As always, we recommend that you like this video just so other people can find it faster. We also recommend that you subscribe to this channel just to stay up to date on the latest in cards and card magic. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/magicorthodoxy. You can also like our page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/magicorthodoxy. Thanks. Bye.